The August 12, 2020 special meeting of the Board of Selectmen will come to order. I'd like to welcome everyone joining us on Facebook Live or joining on the phone. If you're on the phone, please just remember to keep your line muted until called upon, or if you want to speak during public comment. So let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We have special meeting minutes for July 22nd, 2020 Board of Selectmen meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of July 22nd?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All right, the motion carries. Thank you, Stacey. We received an application from Erica Lebling, who's interested in serving on the Plan of Conservation and Development Implementation Committee. Just a reminder for anyone who's listening, this is a 3-year term, and we are looking for people to submit applications. It's an exciting committee, I think, and can really help set the future direction of the town and our priorities. So if you or anyone you know might be interested, please reach out or send in an application. So on to appointments. Could I get a motion to appoint Marty Booker to the Commission on Aging?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
Thank you to Marty. You're getting a whole commission on aging. It's exciting.
As long as soon as, so hopefully we can meet soon.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you, Marty.
I just want to say her comment, her experience was, I am aging, so I have experience. Very nice. Direct experience. Very cute. Very cute.
Could I also get an appointment to appoint Brett Perkins to the Architectural Design Review Board?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Thank you to Brett. We had a good call with him in the chair. He seemed very well suited for the board.
He has a lot of experience in that area.
Yes.
Good addition. Yeah.
So then the next one is a motion to reappoint Mark Mitsko to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And thank you to Mark for deciding to stay on the board. So on August 31st, 2020, Bill Lyman reached his term limit for the ZBA. And so Nathaniel Trumbull has requested to move from an alternate to a regular member effective September 1st. Could I have a motion to reappoint Nathaniel Trumbull from an alternate to a regular member of the Zoning Board of Appeals?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Thank you, Bill, for his time on the board, and thank you for staying on. So the next is a resignation from the Wood Pawcatuck Wild and Scenic River Stewardship Council. Brian Botaro has resigned, so we're going to send him an acknowledgement and thank him for his service. So that's just an update, and also just to say there is now a spot on that council, and it's a really great council. They do a lot of really important work, so if anyone is interested in serving on that, again, just reach out. Just an update on COVID, I guess, just to say, hopefully people are continuing to take precautions. We've been working with Groton to try and address a little bit more in downtown Mystic. A big thank you to the group that oversees the Mystic Park, because they agreed to put up some signs about mask wearing around the park. I know on the Groton side, they're reaching out to different businesses, asking that they have masks on hand for anyone who isn't walking in and out. Primarily, there's been some issues more on their side, I think. It's obviously a lot denser. There's stores on that side, so they've been great. They made the signs on the bridge bigger for pedestrian traffic a few weeks ago, but, it's still a bit challenging down there. So it's just to say, kind of continuously working on it, and I guess local residents could look at, Stonington and Pawcatuck during weekends when it's busier, and they go back to Mystic on weekdays when it's a little less busy. But then also just to say this, from the state perspective, we're still doing really well, and we're the 4th lowest in the whole country. And as a town, we're still maintaining and doing really well. Hopefully it stays that way. I know some of the guidance that has come out has said, if it's over 10 for the cases per 100,000, that's when you're getting into a little bit more of a risky situation, but we're at 2.6, so that's still quite low, and that's really excellent, so hopefully we stay that way, as long as we can. So those are kind of the bigger I guess also we have the governor's call today at 5. On that call, I'll be bringing up or following up a request that we put in a few weeks ago for the governor's office to consider extending Executive Order 7MM, which is the main reason we need that from them is so restaurants can continue to have their liquor permit for their patios outdoor and anywhere that's gotten an encroachment permit. Really, I think it was just last night, zoning approved, the actual request that went in was to extend our zoning reconfiguration of allowing the signage and the patios till November 1st or 2nd daylight savings, and they actually extended it to December 31st, just throughout the whole year. So, but again, that, unless the state supports us with the liquor and encroachment, then it won't work for everybody. So hopefully they'll be open to extending theirs further. And we did have 2 new restaurants actually get encroachment permits from the state, so that's exciting. So hopefully it'll last longer than the next 3 weeks. So those are the COVID updates. The other kind of new business is the resolution that we'd like to talk about now for the Capital Improvement Program Committee. So in reviewing the resolution regarding the Capital Improvement Program Committee, it came to our attention that some of it needed to be updated. It hadn't really been updated in quite a while. So the committee consists of several different department heads and representatives from the Board of Selectmen, Board of Ed, Board of Finance, and Planning and Zoning. And so the update to the resolution will include additions to the committee list of our Director of Public Works wasn't on there, even though in practice she had been part of the committee, it just hadn't changed in the resolution. And adding in the Director of Economic and Community Development, since obviously she just joined, that's a new position. And we'll also be removing the Highway Supervisor, as that position falls under Director of Public Works, and it's our understanding that was there because we didn't need to have a Director of Public Works. That's how long it's been updated. So could I get a motion to approve the amendments to the resolution? So moved. Do I hear a second?
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so on here, number 7, the highway superintendent.
Yes.
That
was
would
an
be,
old title.
That would be
didn't have a director. Yeah, that'll be removed,
Okay.
and it'll become Director of Public Works.
okay, you do have this, number 15, Director of Public Works, there's not a line through that one. So that will, let's see that, what do we have here?
I think that might, yes, okay, yeah, in here, in this one, it'll be, the Director of, or sorry, the
Highway superintendent will be removed.
Yep.
Okay, all
And
right.
it'll just be the Director of Public Works.
Okay.
And they, obviously, the Highway Supervisor is the title now, and they work obviously really closely together for the SIP, but just for the practicality of having that many people on the committee. Yeah.
Okay.
So, any other discussion?
No.
Okay, so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. So we also need to officially appoint those who will sit on the committee to include, so I'll just read them off. From the Board of Selectmen, Danielle Cheesebro, from the Board of Ed and/or School Administrator Designee Peter Anderson. We did reach out to the Board of Ed Chair as well as the Superintendent to get input on this. For now, they said Peter, but with the understanding if they want to also send Chris, their IT person, or someone else, will obviously invite them, welcome them to join us. But for now, we'll have it be Peter. From the Board of Finance, Lynn Young. From Planning and Zoning Commission, from the Dave Rappin. From the Administrative Office here, Patty Bermel. From the Finance Office, Jim Sullivan. The Director of Water Pollution Control Authority, Doug Nettleton. Our Town Planner, Keith Burns. Department of Police Services will be Darren Stewart, Todd Olson, and Henry Ford. Darren and Todd might be interchangeable, and then Henry from the Police Commission. The Director of Human Services, Leanne Theodore. Solid Waste Manager, John Pettyplace. Town Engineer, Chris Greenlaw. Information Technology Manager, Roger Kaiser. Director of Public Works, Barbara McCrell, and then the Director of Economic and Community Development, Susie Cullen. Do I hear a motion to approve the list of appointees?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Have a second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So Henry is the, chair now.
Yes.
When does he step down?
In October,
Yeah,
so it'll become, so that'll be quick, so it'll become whoever the next chair, which is Bob O'Shaughnessy.
Okay, but the
Chair.
SIP document needs to be submitted around that time frame, so like everyone's working on them now.
Yep, we're gonna
Okay.
actually, and I can give an update on that in my update.
Okay.
But we're actually right now.
All right.
So really, so now that we have Patty in as the new Director of Administrative Services, she's gone through all the SIP stuff, and we're gonna try and make a little bit more of a streamlined and consistent process. So actually, we met today, we went over kind of what goes out to everybody to fill out. We're making a few small changes, kind of based on Board of Finance kind of experiences, so hopefully that'll help a little bit more going forward. And then she'll send those out either later this week or early next week and give people until the end of September to actually submit their SIP. Then the SIP committee will actually meet, go through what everybody presented, potentially take some things out, leave things in, help rank them further, that they'll be submitted with rankings, but then they'll rank them further. And then we'll have the community meeting, which will not be at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We'll set a date that's a little bit easier for people to come to, and we'll give some good notice for it. So in October, mid-October, that meeting will happen where community can provide input on the SIP. We'll try and have the SIP draft budget actually out for that meeting. In the past, I don't believe it was actually presented or out. So
There's nothing,
Yeah. So we're gonna try and have that out. Jim confirmed he's off as the finance firm to do that. With the understanding things change, people, shuffle things around later. But then after that community meeting, this group will meet again. They'll further finalize it based on the community input, and then it'll get kind of finalized and then sent out to that January meeting where the Board of Selectmen does this.
This is good, because we've already talked about the length of the budget process. It's like as soon as the new year starts, the budget for the next fiscal year starts. So Henry will have valuable input during this process, and it's really at the end of, by the end of September, everything will be submitted. So, okay. All right.
So just to confirm that the motion to approve the list of appointees, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So motion carries. Okay, so the next item is comments from the public. If you're calling on a phone line, you can press *3, and we can unmute you. I don't think we have anyone. So no comments from the public. You can always reach out to us separately. So then the next item is comments from you guys. Deb, do you want to start?
Just a couple quick things. I've been kind of listening to or watching minutes of the different committees, and unfortunately last night I wasn't able to get to the facilities meeting, but I will follow up because I know that they sent the letter to you about starting to do a survey to understand needs of the various departments, and I think that's really critical, and I'm excited that that's actually going to happen.
Really great. It's so great that they're taking that on. And then does Jim know what they're doing? Do you want to quick update?
The facilities?
Yeah, what they're going to do here?
Basically, they're going to interview different departments and try to figure out, like, what are the actual needs, like storage. Like, if you've got loads of boxes down in the basement, it's hard to get to, maybe that means we need a space in town, like the old admin building or something like that, where we could actually have storage that you could get to, or storage that isn't just getting musty and dusty, sitting in a pile somewhere. So that's just one example, but there could be other things.
Yeah, I think I talked to Paul, the chair of the committee, and we talked about, him, basically, obviously, space is very constrained at town hall, so one key thing is just looking at paper, like there's rooms that are full of paper, but like, how much do they have to access immediately versus if it means having to spend money to say, like, add on a room or space or get a trailer for someone, like, maybe it actually makes more sense to bring in someone to scan all the documents for people, get them all online, and digitize it, to be able to have the data to make the argument for spending that money, or also, like, the space needs assessment, like, is it just too tight in here, and is it really challenging, and do we need to be looking at something, so I think, we're gonna be looking at needing some new roof stuff and other kind of investments here and at Human Services, we just want to be sure if we're staying here for the long haul, we're making the right investments, but that it also meets the space needs. So I think it'll be really helpful to start talking to people and collecting the data and interviewing hopefully every department about kind of their views on the subject, since they have to work here every day.
And I'm expecting that, some surprises could come up, things that haven't been on the radar, so I think this is everybody. That's good, and yeah, everything else I've just been kind of Board of Ed tomorrow night, so I've been kind of fun to watch and follow.
So for me, I wrote up something that I'd just like to, it's brief, I'd just like to read, but it really has to do with, being the police commission liaison, the effect of this new bill, bill number 6004. There's just two things. That there's a financial aspect of the bill that we're going to need to be aware of and plan for. Some of the things are, will be good, body cams, dash cams that have been in our budget and we haven't been able to afford them in years past. We have to buy them now. But it's not just the cost of the equipment, there's ongoing costs. And I think that the annual ongoing cost will be between $250,000 and $500,000 per year. And that's just for mostly IT personnel and managing all of the data. And that's after the initial cost for equipment, dash cams, body cams, and stuff like that. So it's just something we need to be aware of and have to plan for. The other thing, though, is I just wanted to let people know about our current state of public safety. And that Stonington is a very, very busy town, and we have a police force that works very hard. And so I would like to have some of this data and statistics out there so people understand this. So there are several government agencies that focus on public safety and terrorism, and they've come up with the number of police officers a community should have, and it's based on population. And the rule is that there should be 2 officers for every 1,000 people, for every 1,000 residents. So Stonington has approximately 18,500 residents and 1,000 temporary residents. So the temporary residents are based on the number of hotel beds that we have and the 70% occupancy that we currently have in all of the hotels. So that adds another 1,000 people. So when you look at that, that's 19,500 people or 39 to 40 officers. We have in our budget, we have a budget for 39 officers. So as far as our budget is concerned, for that aspect, we're in good shape. However, in addition to that, Stonington is one of the largest towns in the state. We have 44 square miles, so there is a geographic distance coverage issue. We have a very active tourism industry. We have nearly 1 million visitors that come to the seaport and the aquarium and all of the marinas each year. In a normal year, and I think by a little bit of opening that there is, you can see there's been a lot of people that have come into town, and an estimate of just 2 million visitors that are just visit, on a daily basis. We have no officers are budgeted for the influx of tourists based on the size of our town. We also have the longest coastline for marine patrol in the state. So we have a very large square mile area. We have the largest coastline. We have 1 to 2 million of visitors coming in. We have no additional officers budgeted, budgeted for that. And then there's a last thing. Another thing is that with respect to terror attacks, we are considered a Class 2 zone. So this is something that came out about 6 years ago when we got our police boat. And we have, and in fact, the police department last year assisted the FBI in the arrest of a suspected terrorist. So at the town dock. So I mean, this is a real thing, right? So besides the police boats, we got the police boat through a grant from the Port Security Program that was through the Department of Homeland Security. And we have a boat, but we have no additional officers budgeted for our Class 2 zone. We received the boat 6 years ago at 0 cost, and we've just received the grant to replace some of the electronics which are outdated. We do have a little bit of cost with that, but our cost could be as low as $5,000 to do that to fit the boat's electronics are up to date. So with all the respect to public safety, we are currently now understaffed, if you think about it. So at this time, we have 37 officers. We had 3 retire this year, and they were able to hire a new officer who was actually a state trooper who wanted to become a town officer who lives in Stonington. Next year, we have the potential of losing 4 officers due to retirement, and over the next 5 years, another 4 due to retirement. And there are no candidates coming forward to replace those who are retiring. or to those who may find an alternate career. So the decline in the number of police officers is a concern, with no immediate solution to the issue, but, as the bill, part of the bill, and nobody interested in becoming a police officer anymore, we may need to look at maybe hiring an outside security company or something, but these are just things that we need to think about. Nothing's happening immediately, but just to plan for. But I just want anybody that's watching, it's not just the 18,000 people, there are 19,000 people that live here. We have a lot of stuff that goes on in our town that we also need public safety coverage for. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So, yeah.
That was good. My estates are going to pale in comparison, so, I think a lot of people saw, and you guys obviously know, the EEE, mosquito was confirmed. We are very fortunate. At the time, it was just a primarily bird biting type of mosquito, but it kind of puts us on alert, which we should expect this probably every summer and early fall. So people should take all the proper precautions that they hopefully have been taking, but maybe step it up a bit more if you haven't. Long sleeves, long pants if you're outside, or spray. Dusk and dawn are the most dangerous times. If you have any standing water in your yards, you can contact Ledgelight, they can help, or contact us on the town side. But I think a lot of our kind of proactive work that's been taking place actually for years on the larva side, and hopefully it's going to continue to pay dividends. That will be in pretty good shape. But I learned a lot yesterday about mosquitoes from our mosquito management expert, Kirk. He was very, very interesting and insightful. If you guys ever want to talk to him, just let me know. I had no idea how much differences there were between, I think there's 92 different types of mosquitoes. So yeah, it was very interesting. So yeah, we have to take precautions, and we're monitoring it. The state is down doing more testing. They should have some more information for us in a week or two, just to keep being sure that that's all that's there. So we'll see how that progresses, and Ledgelight just continues to be a fantastic partner.
Oh, they are absolutely fantastic, and then we get the updates. It's just, yeah. I don't think they ever sleep.
They don't ever sleep.
No. They're fantastic.
It's 24/7.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll get the vacation at some point. And then the only other thing is just to say at 9 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to have this business and nonprofit roundtable. So it'll be myself, Sue Cullen, our Director of Economic and Community Development, and then Leanne Theodore, our Director of Human Services, along with, I believe it'll be Stephen Mansfield from Ledgelight, joining us to talk to hopefully mostly the business and nonprofit community, but anyone's welcome to come about kind of updates on our side, kind of related to COVID and what we've been doing or trying to do, and then hopefully getting some good feedback from those on the WebEx or on the call about what else we could be doing, both at the local level or regionally or state or even at the federal level to advocate. Just an example, we just actually had some good input from some of the fishermen about something that then we were able to, again, it's not a local issue, but we were able to help kind of facilitate further outreach at the state level. So sometimes we can just be helpful in facilitating some connections with other departments or agencies. So hopefully we'll get some feedback, and if you know of anyone who might be interested in joining, hopefully we'll join tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's it for now. So anything further?
No.
Very busy. All right, we will stand adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.